heard stories where workers digging at a construction site find something creepy and weird buried underground. You may not think much about those things, but some of them really do have a creepy backstory for being buried underground in the first place. From creepy underground cinema to mummified bodies, let's take a look at the 10 scariest discoveries found buried underground. Number 10. Edinburgh Vault. Scotland is known for its castles and its scenic beauty. However, that is not the only thing Scotland is known for. It has a very rich history. One of the creepiest discoveries in Scotland is that of Edinburgh Vaults. There are different chambers discovered beneath the country of Scotland. These chambers were mostly used as a storage space, but many people lived there as well. The congested place, bad air quality, and creepy environment make it a very unpleasant place to live in. These chambers were also a hotspot for illegal activities during the time. One of the most well-known Edinburgh vaults is the Old Town Bank, which was supposedly discovered during the 18th century. These vaults date back to the 16th century and were used as storage for items such as wine, oil, and other goods. The scary Edinburgh Vault tour takes you through underground tunnels that were newly discovered in 2002. The tunnels are narrow and have low ceilings, making it hard to stand upright. Most people on this tour will get a scare or two, but it's also a good way to learn about history or just enjoy some time in an underground setting with close friends who share your fear of ghosts. Number 9. Creepy Cinema Underground. The Creepy Cinema Underground is a Parisian movie theater that has been around since the 1960s. It's located in the suburbs of Saint-Denis, which is near Paris, France. What makes it so creepy though? The Creepy Cinema Underground has a reputation for being haunted. Many people who go to see movies there get strange feelings and sometimes have other unexplainable experiences, like seeing shadows or hearing whispers. Not only is the cinema physically haunting, but it also offers many traditional horror movies, such as The Shining. This invitation to horror and suspense can create an atmosphere of fear and discomfort for all those who attend. Number 8. The Terracotta Army. China is one of the oldest countries in the world. It has a very rich cultural history. As it is thousands of years old, there are bound to be some very amazing discoveries in China. Over the years, different discoveries have been made in China for different things. However, the discovery of the Terracotta Army still remains one of the most talked about discoveries in the world. The sheer size of the discovery is amazing. The lengths that the Chinese went in order to protect an emperor in the afterlife is really amazing and shocking at the same time. The Terracotta Army is one of the most famous archaeological discoveries in history. The idea for it came from Ying Zhen, who became known as Qin Shi Huangdi. The army's purpose was primarily to protect him after his death, so they were buried alongside what has been unearthed to be his tomb at Mount Li near Jiangxi Province. The Terracotta Army contains figures that vary in height, depending on their roles. Warriors stand at over 7 feet tall. Generals are about 6 feet. The only place where these army's statues are currently found is at Emperor Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum located near Jiang in Shaanxi Province, consisting of more than 8,000 life-size statues of military men, horses, and chariots with weapons and animals. One other crazy fact about these terracotta statues is that each one of the more than 8,000 is different. Number 7. Inca Mummy. The Inca Maiden Mummy was discovered in 1990 atop a mountain about 12,500 feet up the mountain. The mummy is estimated to be around 500 years old. The Inca Maiden Mummy is one of the finest examples of how mummification was performed by the Incas. The body of this young woman has been preserved so well that it looks like she is just sleeping, and not dead for half a millennia. Based on the Inca culture, the girl was sacrificed to bring good luck and prosperity for all her people. She was only 15 years old when she died. Number 6. Alien Skulls. Archaeologists have unearthed an alien skull buried in a pyramid. This discovery was made at the ancient Maya city of Tikal and is the third such finding in the area. The first skull was discovered in 2015 by Mexican archaeologist René Juárez Nájera, who noticed an unusual shape at the back of the temple pyramid. The second was found last year and belonged to a woman aged 25 to 35 years old. The new discovery also belonged to a woman and was found in similar circumstances, with each one being buried under or near important Mayan buildings. Number 5. Spiral-shaped mass burial. Archaeologists found a spiral-shaped mass burial in Mexico that was at least 2,800 years old. The burial has at least 12 layers, and the discovery was made in 2016. The site has 10 dead bodies buried in a spiral form. The body contains adults, children, and even an infant. The new findings reveal that it's not only a part of the Pyramid of the Moon, but it's also a part of an earlier construction phase. The excavation team found skeletons and bodies, as well as funerary objects such as obsidian knives and animal bones. Their reason of death can only be speculated. Some speculate it to be a tragic event that caused the death of these 10 people, however many believe they were killed in a ritual. The spiral-shaped buried shows that the latter is more close to the truth. Number 4. The Black Sarcophagus. The Black Sarcophagus was found buried in a cemetery in the ancient city of Alexandria, Egypt. It's a mysterious object that has been surrounded by speculation of what could be inside. The sarcophagus is rectangular and made from black granite. This sarcophagus has been naturally entombed for 2,000 years, and it is time that we take a closer look at this mysterious object. The black granite sarcophagus measures 7 feet 9 inches tall and weighs 16 tons. It was found buried at a depth of 10 feet below ground level. And when archaeologists uncovered it, they were surprised to find that it had not been broken into by robbers or vandalized in any other way. The lid is at one end and a large alabaster head of a man wearing a crown on top. The lid of the sarcophagus is carved with an intricate design of vines and leaves, but no inscription identifying the person who was laid to rest inside the coffin has yet been found. It has been left untouched for over 2,000 years, but the question remains, who was this king? Number 3. Talland Man. The discovery of the Talland Man in 1950 has been a point of contention because it's believed he was ritualistically sacrificed by hanging. He was approximately 40 years old when he died. His hair was brown or slightly ginger in color, his eyes were blue or gray blue, and he had an unshaven face and wispy beard. The Talland Man was executed 2,300 years ago and was found preserved in a Danish bog, now the newest addition to the Danish National Museum. The remarkable find was made during peat cutting, and it's estimated that he died around 300 BC. The body of the man was so well preserved because it had been quickly covered in layers of peat that acted as a natural preservative. He is one of the most important archaeological finds ever made in Denmark. It is also one of the best preserved human bodies from ancient times, which makes it an invaluable source for studying how people lived 2,300 years ago. He is the oldest man to have his fingerprints on record, as the Danish police did an analysis of his fingerprints back in 1976. Number 2. The Lloyds Bank Coprolite. A human coprolite is a fossilized piece of feces. Coprolites provide information on the diet and health of the person who produced them, and give scientists insight into the lives of ancient peoples. In 1972, the Lloyds Bank in London discovered a human coprolite that provided the first detailed analysis of human feces from a prehistoric time period. The bank staff found it when they were moving a table in their basement to make space for new customers. They brought it up to show the manager because they thought it was a bone or something. The manager had no idea what it was, so he took it to his zoology professor to find out what kind of animal this could be from. After looking at it and carefully considering its features, he determined that this object was not a bone from any animal, but human feces. And say it with me, everybody, ew. Before we head on to the number 1 entry, here is an honorable mention of Khufu ships. The discovery of the Khufu ship in 1954 is one of the most important discoveries in modern history. The ship is thought to have been built by Pharaoh Khufu, who ruled Egypt thousands of years ago. It's not known how ancient Egyptians manufactured their vessels, but Khufu's ship was very well made and very well preserved. So much so that scientists believe it could still sail if it was to be launched in the Nile. One thing that the ship shows is that there was an ancient harbor near Giza. No one knows the exact reason for the ship being there, but historians believe that it was buried with Pharaoh Khufu so he could use it to travel to the heavens. Number 1. King Tut's tomb. King Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered in 1922. The British archaeologist Howard Carter was in charge of opening the sealed sarcophagus. He found the mummy of King Tut and the treasures that he had with him. King Tutankhamun, or King Tut, is a significant figure in Egyptian history. His tomb's discovery has been one of the most significant archaeological finds ever, as it reveals many facts about ancient Egyptian life. The discovery is also fairly relevant today, as it has captured the attention of people and kids all over the world who are interested in ancient Egypt culture and history. The king's burial chamber has been found, and it is an extraordinary find to be had. The room was in near perfect condition when the archaeologists discovered it. The discovery was significant for 3 reasons. Firstly, for the last 100 years, Egyptologists had been unable to locate this tomb, which led to some people to think that there was never a tomb at all. Secondly, this is one of the first tombs of ancient Egypt ever to be examined with scanning equipment, and thirdly, it might finally lead us to understanding how King Tut died. Well, there you have it, 10 of the scariest finds buried beneath the ground for centuries and millennium. Do you know any odd and scary discoveries found buried underground? Let us know down there in the comments.